We're going to kick off this week's offerings on Netflix with a new drama series called Hostage. And here's a clip.
These people will stop at nothing. But I cannot give in to them. They are targeting me. They have weaponized my family. I will not be threatened. I will not negotiate.
Well, this is already being called The New Bodyguard, that series that Keely Hawes was in. And yes, it's a political thriller, and you've got the fabulous Suranne Jones playing the British Prime Minister, Abigail Dalton. Okay, she's happily married to Alex, who is a doctor working for Médecins Sans Frontières. But he is abducted while he's working overseas. Meanwhile, you've got Julie Delpy, wow, who is a very accomplished actor and director. She's playing the French president, Vivienne Toussaint, who is visiting Downing Street for a meeting, a summit meeting. And the backdrop is very topical. The backdrop is the immigration crisis, really, and how are Britain and France going to deal with that? And anyway, so it's quite an interesting backdrop. I liked a lot about it. So it's created by screenwriter Matt Sharman, who worked on Bridge of Spies. I like the fact that it's two female leads. I like the fact that this is a prime minister who is very relatable, you know, very human. And yeah, it's just good to see two women sort of power broking in politics. So it's quite an interesting setup because, yes, the kidnappers, it happens in episode 1, so it's not a big spoiler. Their demand is that Abigail should resign. Her line is very much, you know, we do not give in to terrorists, and she's relying on the French to sort of mobilise some kind of SWAT team, and it's in a sort of French-speaking, I think, former colony, and go and rescue these doctors. However, I don't want to spoil the surprise, but there's another twist involving the French president, which kind of turns everything on its head. So I think it's really nicely done. I mean, I've only seen episode 1, but I really liked what I've seen, and I just think she's terrific in this, and so is Delpy, and they're a really, really good contrast of personalities in this as well. They're both great. You also have Lucien Mazzamati from Gangs of London, who is playing Prime Minister's Chief of Staff. So yeah, I mean, you'll certainly watch this if you like Suranne Jones, and who doesn't? And if you enjoyed series like The Bodyguard, I think this is recommended. Don't be put off by the kind of political backdrop, because it's just, besides all that and the topicality, it's just a great thriller, really well acted with some interesting characters. What did you think, Hannah?
Huge fan of Suranne Jones. She sort of, whatever she turns her hand to, it works, doesn't it, for her? And a lot of the stuff that we've seen in recent times with prime ministers, we've seen actors who try and be like prime ministers that we've had. You know, they're portraying prime ministers we have had. Think of Gillian Anderson, Margaret Thatcher. She doesn't here, and so quite quickly when I first started watching it, I thought, oh, this is kind of weird. It doesn't really look like one of our prime ministers. Oh, of course she's not. This is this is a drama. This isn't real, Hannah. Check yourself. And suddenly but because it's so topical, as you say, it's really interesting because it's a divisive topic anyway. So people will come to this with their own agenda, their own thoughts. And it kind of makes you question a lot of that, whilst the backdrop of having, as you say, it's a thriller, and the storyline that goes on through this. And I love having this very powerful kind of female-driven cast, and they're really, really strong. There's no chinks in the armour here at all. And I think Suranne Jones played a big part in creating this, and I think you can see that she's at one with the narrative completely, and she feels very comfortable in that. So I also like the relationship that she has with her husband too, because it's a level playing field, isn't it? It feels very equal and building each other up at a time when we see so many relationships where people aren't building each other up, and one's an outperformer or a high performer and the other one isn't, or whatever, and these two people come together and it's really natural and lovely. So I think there's so many different things to love actually about this. I think it's really fascinating, and as you say, don't be put off by the political part of this, because it's not everything by any stretch, but it's an interesting part of it. So yeah, thumbs up from me.